The world is super crazy. Well, I've been gone for approximately, I think it's been about 2 months since I kind of went on a hiatus from the daily Jerms, and I'm so excited to be back. He said I sounded like a schoolboy, and I just got back from the park, and I had a revelation as I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, which he'll do that to you. But I'd like to welcome Kagan Richardson, aka DJ Moose Tracks. I'm gonna put a little link into his Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
Get that SoundCloud in there for sure.
SoundCloud, that's right. Sorry, I'm not big on the music scene. Maybe I will be someday, but for now, I'm learning through him. But one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to have this, and I already posted a shout out for Kagan on my Snapchat, was that I talk a lot. I do. I understand that, and I don't get to see the fruits of a lot of my own talks that I have with people, whether it's one-on-one or whether that it's in a group setting or some of the things I post on YouTube. I don't get to see a lot of success stories because I only started this probably about 8 months ago. And one of the things I noticed is that Kagan and I have had these conversations for a long time, and I'm giving him huge credit. He did all of the work, he did everything, but I finally gotten to see what it looks like 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road. Because tell me this, how long have you been working on the piano now?
It's been about 6 months since I started practicing piano.
And I walked in the room yesterday, and I just got back down to California. We came down here for a good friend of ours. His father passed away, and we got to support. And Brian, if you see this, we love you so much, man. And we wouldn't have missed it for the world. So that's that. But and he was playing the piano, and he was going through all of his scales, and he was doing things, and I was like, God, I remember doing that. And I guess my biggest question to you is, how did you get yourself to the point where you're like, I am going to do this for 15 minutes? Because how did you create a wall behind you? Because most people, their backs are against the wall, and they're like, now I have to make a decision, now I have to change. Mm-hmm. How did you create that wall of like, I'm going to make a change, I'm going to do this every day for 15 minutes?
Right. Well, of course, my goal with DJ Moose Tracks is to travel the world in music, and to do that, I need to produce my own music. And one of the best ways to do that, of course, is on the piano, because it's really a universal instrument. And so about 6 months ago, I recognized that I needed to start working on it, and the best way to do that, I knew at the time, was to do it even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Get on there, even if it's just my scales and some chords, get on there and practice. And I've stuck to it. I haven't missed a single day.
But that's the biggest part that I have to ask is, how did you stick to it? Because we know so many people, friends, acquaintances, whatever, they always make these statements of, I'm going to do X, and I'm going to be able to play the guitar, I'm going to be able to play the piano. And a lot of people that say, I wish I could do this stuff, but I just can't. And you probably said that out loud before. You're like, I just don't think I could play the piano. Mm-hmm. And what made you be like, no, you know what, I'm going to trust myself, I'm going to trust in the process? Like, how did you get yourself to do that?
Well, it was honestly easy for me once I got to the point with DJ Moose Tracks where I was like, okay, I really want to grow in this. I really want to make this a serious endeavor and not just a hobby. So it was easy for me to get on the piano and practice every day, because I have so many songs that I want to play on piano, and obviously that won't be able to happen unless I get on there and practice. So I had in my head, I knew I wanted to play, like, for one of the songs is probably my favorite song, to be honest, I Remember by deadmau5. That's very much so a piano-driven song, and so that was actually the first song that I learned how to play. And so having that goal in mind, not just to progress in music, but having those specific goals, like I want to play this song, and then once I learn that song, I'm going to go learn the next song. So it became not something where I was having to work for 15 minutes a day. It was something where I was playing for 15 minutes a day. So to answer your question, once I was able to look at it as play and not necessarily work, it became very easy for me to get on there every day. And honestly, it's not even a second thought now.
Well, yeah, because you and I were hanging out last night. It was 10 o'clock, and you're like, I have some things to do before midnight. And I was kind of like, oh, I've said that before. Yeah. I remember being like, what do you have to do before midnight? And you came down, you started playing the piano. I was like, your mom's probably loving this right now. She's trying to go to bed. But that's another story. But like, I guess I say that too because you said DJ Moose Tracks became not just a hobby. It was, I'm going to get this done. And Was there somebody else that motivated you? Was there a moment where it was just like, I want to be a DJ, I'm in an office, I don't want to be in an office right now? Because I know we talked about that when you got, a really good job. We don't have to talk about the company. I don't want to hear about the company, but like, you're like, I had a good job, it was stable, it was secure. And a lot of times those stable, secure jobs are like, I'm getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, and I know what that looks like, and I know what to at least expect, and so it's really difficult to push ourselves out of that realm and into the world of uncertainty. So where was that where was that kick? Was there a day where you were sitting at lunch and you were looking at the birds and you're like, they're free? I want to be free like the birds. I mean,
it was definitely a time when I was working at my former company, and like you said, it was a great job, but at one point I was just sitting at my desk, and I knew that I didn't want to sit at a desk for the rest of my life until I retire. I wanted to be out on stage, playing music in the studio, creating music, traveling the world, playing shows, meeting different people. I wanted to be doing that, so it became apparent to me that I needed to start working at it now, otherwise it's never going to happen.
Right, and I think that's so huge, just for like the audience, and for everybody, is, we're put into this world and we've been trained in this box. We've been trained in this bubble of, and it's not our parents' fault, but our parents know what they know, and they know to go get a pretty good, secure job, and get something that's going to make you feel like you're going to have a pretty successful life. But with inflation, with everything else, it's not really secure anymore. Like, there's so many people we know that are living at their parents' house. I know that when I came back from Germany, I was playing basketball and I got a standard job. It's a good job and I love it, but I realized that there was nothing I can do from that. You have to create an income stream. And then I was listening to I've told you this, but I was listening to an Earl Nightingale YouTube video about 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about how 3% of the world, it's black and white. Earl Nightingale was back in like the 40s, I think, or 50s, I don't know. And he was like, 3% of the world makes over $10,000. And then, 10% of the world makes $3,000 to $10,000. And then the other 90 whatever, or 87, made under $3,000, and most of them were 1,000 and under. And it's like, the world hasn't changed. Like, the jobs have changed, the industries have changed, but it's all a world for the owners. And so, do you feel now that you've been working on DJing for a long time. Remember, we had Mr. Yuki, if you see this, what's up, man? He came over when I was just traveling from Texas. But when did you feel like I'm a business owner and the chips lay in my hands, and like I have the power to make this whatever I want it to be?
Well, that was around the time when I actually quit that job, and I was given, instead of working 40 hours a week for somebody else's company, for somebody else's goals, I was then using those 40 hours a week to work towards my goals, to work towards DJ Moose Tracks, and I was given the complete freedom, of course, to fill those 40 hours a week, plus more, because of course this is my passion, so it wasn't like I was 9 to 5 and then done with it. But yeah, once I was able to really control my time and work towards my goals, it really became a sense of ownership.
That's so awesome. We were talking about this too earlier. You're having other things that kind of give you energy and keep you young. We've had so many good conversations this weekend with so many friends, so many people that we care about. And one of the ones we were talking to, it's just, I know I talk about this a lot, and it's going to be a book that I read at some point, or that I write at some point, called Telling the Hard Truths. And one of those truths are just things that you love that like kind of keep you like a child and keep you having the energy. Because I think energy and conviction are two of the most important things that you could ever have. And Mr. Brian Clough is actually in here as well. We already gave him a shout out. But one of the things that we're going to do tonight is we're literally going to have a Pokemon tournament, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to bring out the cards, and it's going to be so much fun. I think I bought a fidget spinner today, and I wear like a Disney lanyard at work, and it just keeps me reminded of my dreams and all the things that I want to do in life. I want to be young. I want to have fun, and I want to not be held down. And so, what are some of the things? And I know they're probably similar, that just keep you young and they keep you fired up about life, because there's no way you could be a DJ. Like you said, it's plain to you now, but there's no way you can be a DJ or go be a business owner or go do things you want to do and not have a lot of energy. It's just that's not gonna work.
Well, for one, I got to piggyback on the Pokemon thing. Going with Sir Brian Clough over there to Target to buy some Pokemon cards now that we have big boy money and big boy jobs. It was definitely an experience, and it definitely was very nostalgic. And yeah, we're gonna capitalize on it tonight with the Pokemon tournament. But one of the ways, join us for the second tournament.
Yeah, we're in Rancho Santa Margarita.
But one of the things that energizes me and really, I guess, to play off your words, keep me young, keep me determined in my goals, is to just go to the shows and really go there as a fan and go see, and not even just restricting myself to electronic music, going to rock and roll shows, going to punk shows, not country. I haven't delved into that yet. Maybe I will someday, but hip hop, R&B, you name it. Like I love music, and I'm in this for the music, and hopefully I'll be able to support myself with it.
Which would be amazing. And if you guys haven't checked out his stuff, like I said, DJ Moose Tracks on SoundCloud. And we're gonna end with one question today for you, and it's like, there's a lot of people out there that want to be DJs. There's a lot of people out there that want to be NBA athletes. A lot of people want to play in the major leagues. There's a lot of people that, maybe want to win a Yu-Gi-Oh! World-class tournament. I'm one of them at some point, if I have the free time. But we're all fighting for that kind of stuff. What would you tell somebody now that you know what it looks like being, like, I'm gonna call you a professional DJ. You're somebody that is, because you're on your way with the work that you're putting in every single day, and I think you act the part before you are the part. What would you say to somebody to get to where you're at right now, to where you've produced a couple songs that you felt pretty good about, and we talked about that today at our meeting. What would you say about, like, what would be the advice that you give them?
So I'd honestly echo the advice that I received from a DJ friend of mine when I started about 5 years ago. And he actually told me to read a book, and it's actually sitting over there. It's off screen. It's called How to DJ Right. And I know it sounds like a silly name, almost like the Idiot's Guide to DJing, but it was amazing. I picked up this book before I even bought any DJ equipment, and by the time I was done with it, I felt like I could go out there and DJ in front of thousands of people, and it was an amazing experience. Yes, and right after I finished the book, I bought my equipment and started practicing, and it felt like the feeling when you ride a bike and you stop for a little bit and then you come back to riding a bike. It felt like second nature, like I had done it before. So I'd definitely recommend that book. But another book by the same authors is called Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, and it's essentially the history of dance music, the history of the DJ. So I recommend those two books because the first one will give you an idea of the technical skills that you need to become a DJ, and also some of the skills surrounding how to throw a show and host a party and stuff like that. But the second one really gives you the history of the DJ, the history of dance music, and I think it's hugely important to know the history of whatever industry you're in, whether it's music, sales, insurance, whatever you're doing. I think it's hugely important to know the history behind it.
That's fire. That's awesome advice for everybody
Two
right
books.
there. And mostly because, success leaves clues. We've all heard that before. And, if you're going to take the time, 20 minutes a day, to read a book and to study and to play the piano, and I don't know, this guy had kind of a dad bod about a year ago. The dude is ripped now. He's got some tone. It's awesome. I love seeing that kind of stuff. It's the reason why I gave him a shout out. It's the reason why I'm ready to get back into daily Jerms, because it's the first time I've seen what 6 months down the road can look like. And that for me got me re-fired up about my dreams, because it's like, wow, I know I've been saying this stuff and I know I believed it, but it just gave that re-conscious belief. How about a shout out? Let's do 2 shout outs for 2 people that are kind of up and coming in the DJ scene that maybe not everyone knows about, and we'll tag them in too.
Okay, well, I'll give a shout out to Ace. They're from Long Beach. One half of Ace is Zach Ball, the other half is Ryan Wong. They played 2 shows with me in the last couple months. I'll be playing with them on the 28th at the same place, Tiki Bar, up in Costa Mesa. It's going to be a great time. I'll be posting about that on my Instagram and SoundCloud, so pay attention for that. ACE also stands for All You Can Eat, and they definitely incorporated that in their shows. The last show, they brought pizza for everyone, and that's going to be a tradition that's going to be carried on. So certainly All You Can Eat, good music, good food. So definitely ACE, and then also B Chang. So he's also played with me for over 2 shows the last
Sweet.
couple months. And I have to give a huge shout out. His name's Brian Chang, and he's also the head of Dance Music Initiative, which is an awesome DJ community here in Orange County. And I'm very thankful to Brian because he welcomed me into the group, and I've made some awesome connections, met some great people, and some awesome DJs here in the community. So,
Awesome.
B Chang and Ace.
Thank you,
guys.
Kagan, thank you so much for joining me and for kind of revamping my belief in some of the things that I already said. I can't tell you how proud I am of, basically being a brother of yours. I'm so glad I got to come down here. The reason why we came down here wasn't the best, but we got to, celebrate with some amazing people. And then, like I said, I just got to spend time with my brother again. So for you guys, welcome back to the Daily Jerm. This is, I think it's the 13th one. I'll have to check. I got to go get washed up. I was sweating down the park, and, we're always, we got to get clean. We got too many germs.
And we got a Pokemon tournament, so gotta be clean for the tournament.
Got to. See you guys.